Boys, I want to ask you this. Is there a chance that the Islanders can overtake the Bolts for that last wild card spot?
No.
Listen, it's so weird because I don't think first of all, I actually don't think that the Islanders would be the team to do it. Do I think there's a chance Tampa Bay falls out of that spot? I actually do. But I think that it would I think maybe the Devils, hate to say it, maybe the Caps. Again, this is like without knowing what anyone's really doing at the trade deadline, so it's even harder to predict, but I'll tell you, never mind what team's going to sneak in. Let me tell you why I think the Lightning maybe don't make it. Is the Sergachev thing has really affected that team, in my opinion. Their D is not the same without him. Vasilevsky, I think I've said it on the pod before, has a save percentage that starts with the number 8 for the first time in maybe ever. They're just I feel like that's like a team. I think Elliot Friedman said it perfectly on 32 Thoughts. That's a team that to me is looking at themselves right now and is like, maybe it's not our year. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like even if they get in that they have any hope of like doing anything. But it's also not a team who really needs to get in to get like all their young guys a bunch of experience. You know what I mean? Like they're just
Yeah.
it feels like a team that's a waste of a playoff spot. Like I hate to say that. I'm probably gonna get flamed for that because I know the Bolts are the Bolts, and they'll probably make me eat shit and make the playoffs and go to the conference final now. But I don't know, that team. This has been a disastrous year for them in multiple facets, and they just so happen to still be in the last playoff spot. But I seriously think they could use a break. Like if anything, they could probably just use a year to not be in the playoffs and recoup. I mean, they did only go one round last year, so who knows? But that's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, I think they're lacking a lot of depth this year offensively too. I mean, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, and this is a crazy stat if you haven't heard it. So Kucherov is obviously running off with the scoring title. McKinnon close there with him, but he's got 40 more points than the
Yep.
next closest guy on the Lightning. That is, I mean, you got Braden Point, you got Stamkos, some of these guys. Obviously, if Sergachev was healthy, he's got good offensive prowess. But like, how is that possible?
And they've got guys too that like beginning of the year, you were like, oh, watch out, like Connor Sherry. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
watch out, and he's done fuck all year.
Yeah.
Hagel.
It's like,
Yeah.
Even as good as Hagel's been, he's not even 40 within 40 points. It's nuts.
I think
right.
it just goes to show that bottom six is nowhere near what it was when they were on their back-to-back run.
No.
What's his face? Palat's gone, Gord's gone. This is, it's very thin at the bottom of that barrel right now.
Which is why I feel like they are leaving the door open. If the Islanders or the Devils or the Caps or somebody wants to get hot as fuck out of nowhere, I think it's open for the taking. But
It's definitely the most like human we've seen this team look in the last 5 years.
But it's a two-way street. It doesn't just take Tampa being mediocre. One of those other 3 teams has to go on a run, and I honestly don't know if that is going to happen.
They have to want to get in the playoffs, and none of those 3 teams
No,
do.
they're all fighting like, I don't know, you do it. I'm scared.